Okay, let me start by saying first our condolences to the Greek military and the Greek people, the loss of your 3 soldiers here recently in a training accident. Terrible loss, not only for their units and their army, but for their families. So I personally regret the loss of those 3 soldiers. I want to say thanks also to General Leontaris, commander of the NATO Rapid Deployment Corps of Greece, for being the host site here. A great opportunity for our conference in this incredibly beautiful city of Thessaloniki. Thank you very much for that. Purpose of our conference, why are we here? Number 1 is to examine the threats that are facing our alliance, both that was spurred by the illegal annexation of Crimea by Russia, and also the threat posed by ISIL. So we're here to examine that as the land commanders of the alliance. Second, we wanted to build on the unity of the alliance that all of you saw coming out of the Wales Summit, a level of seriousness by all 28 countries and many of our partners about the importance of our political cohesion, but also our military preparedness to continue to assure the thing that is most important about our alliance, and why we have been the most successful alliance in the history of the world. It is that confidence in each other, collective defense. Article 5, an attack on one is an attack on all. And so our conference is about how can we make sure we're able to do that part. And then finally, to make sure that the land forces of the alliance, in conjunction with air, special forces, and maritime forces of NATO, are able to work together. So it's very brief. General Leontaris, I think, has a very brief opening statement. We can take a couple of questions, and then we will turn over to Sakir.
Okay. I'm Lieutenant General LEONTARIS Ilias. I'm the commander of NRDC-Greece, and since Lieutenant General HODGES covered all the purpose of the conference, I'm going to tell you what the NRDC stands for. The NRDC is a tool and a pool for the Army General Staff. It's a tool and a pool for the Hellenic Defense Forces. And this is a pool because here we use it as a training area to prepare our officers and NCOs to be ready to take over any mission or duty within the alliance. And it's a pool, and it's a tool because we transfer all the NATO knowledge and the know-how through the systems that NATO offers to us, to our officers. As you probably know, and you know it very well, we don't have nowadays the luxury, if you like to use it, this word, the luxury to assign abroad so many officers as we did in the past. So we use it as a training tool and as a pool of trained personnel to carry out all the missions that might be assigned to our headquarters and to our army. Thank you.
Super. All right, we look forward to your questions. Sure.
Thank you, sir. My name is Leonidas Blaveris from Parapolitica.
Thank you, sir. My name is Leonidas Blaveris from Parapolitica newspaper. I would like to ask you if you take some decisions today, and what will happen in the threats in the border of NATO, ISIS, for example, Syria. What will have, and which will be the contribution of NATO to this threat, to confront this threat? Thank you.
Sure. Well, first of all, the conference is about examining the role of land forces as part of a joint team within the contemporary security environment in the aftermath of the Wales Summit. So the threat posed by ISIL on the boundary of the alliance, on the Turkish border, certainly is an important part of what we are examining. This conference won't yield decisions about policy, but it will enable the military commanders of the alliance to inform political leadership, to make recommendations about that. Certainly, the alliance demonstrated its ability to respond to a threat. You'll remember only 2 years ago when Turkey asked for protection from potential Scud missiles coming out of Syria. In an amazingly short amount of time, 28 nations, the other 27 nations, agreed to the request, and Patriot systems from the United States, Germany, and the Netherlands deployed in the middle of winter to south central Turkey, and we're ready to operate in less than 3 months from the request to full operational capability. So that demonstrates the alliance recognizes threats on the border of member countries and a willingness to respond. And I am very confident that our senior leadership, both military and political, are looking very closely, both as an alliance and then, of course, member nations bilaterally at the implications of the threat on the border, and then those veterans, if you will, jihadists that then come back to their home nations inside the alliance, the threat that poses.
Hello, we're from Hellenic Public National Television. The first question is for General HODGES and the second is for General Leontaris. What are the goals and the time schedule for the upgrade of the operational capabilities of NRDC Greece, and what can be the Alliance expectations about the future of these headquarters?
Can I start?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, good. The upgrade to higher readiness forces has been made by the Greek government. So the headquarters has been ready, and in fact we are waiting for the exercise in December in order to fulfill the bureaucratic, let's say, part of the process. We are ready. We are going to be exercised with the Land Command. We are going to be subordinated command to Land Command. This is something that the evaluation process needs, and this is going to earmark our upgrade to high readiness. This one has nothing to do with the evaluation that we are going to undergo next year. This is a 3-year cycle, and every 3 years all the headquarters, doesn't matter the level of readiness, have to be evaluated. So we are ready as high readiness because the Greek government, the Greek nation has decided to do so.
From a LANDCOM perspective, what I have seen from this headquarters, and particularly from this commander, who was formerly the chief of staff here, so he's been invested for quite some time, as a commitment to ensure that NRDC Greece is ready to take on the requirements that the alliance might put on this headquarters, or that the nation, your nation, might require of this headquarters. The decision to participate in an exercise in December called Trident Lance is a perfect example of the implementation of Connected Forces Initiative that the former Secretary General talked about. From this headquarters, they will connect into our headquarters in Germany and the NRDC Turkey in Istanbul, and also the Multinational Corps Northeast in Szczecin, Poland. So it'll be a distributed exercise, multi-echelon, and then my headquarters reports under the Joint Force Command in Naples. And we're going to exercise an Article 5 scenario in the Baltics. So it's, in terms of the numbers of Corps headquarters, it's the largest command post exercise that the Alliance has done in a very long time, and it's focused on the Baltics, and it's an Article 5 scenario. So this commander is stepping forward to exercise in the most challenging environment, and also training in a way that will exercise our systems more thoroughly, but it's also in a way that's more affordable. Able to exercise from here, connected to 4 other headquarters that are in other parts of the geography of the Alliance. So that's a forward-thinking commander that you have here at NRDC Greece. Now, I'm a NATO commander, but I'm also a U.S. officer, and I am very happy that we will finally get an American officer arriving next year in the summertime to be a part of this headquarters. I hope that she is the first of several U.S. officers and NCOs who will arrive here. That certainly would be my ambition, to have several Americans to get the experience of being in this NATO headquarters. And then the evaluation that General Leontaris talked about, of course, next summer in Gordian Knot, or May, June in Gordian Knot, will be an example of what NATO exercises ought to be. Rigorous, thorough, and then we can all walk away from here much better, more confident about our capabilities. I think we have time for one more before Sakura arrives, and of course we will both stay around afterwards if anybody had questions. Okay.
If you both have any closing statements before we transition.
Okay, closing this short interview, I would like to assure everybody that this headquarters here is MOU-based headquarters. That means some nations decided to come together and to establish headquarters, but the framework nation is Greece. Greece has taken over the cost for the establishment, but the everyday training and exercises is covered by a common fund that comes from the 8 nations which constitute the headquarters right now. It's a multinational headquarters, and our military leadership and with the support of the Minister of National Defense, they are trying to increase this multinationality to the let's say to the extent could be done this nowadays, where the financial crisis has affected all the countries. But as you heard, we have good news that the United States Army decided already to assign the first officer, and then we are looking forward for other nations to follow the example that the United States does. So thank you very much, and I'm at your disposal outside the tent for any other question you might have.